This kills 15 people every single day in America. It's not a disease, it's not a natural disaster, it's this, a stroad. You've driven on one, you've probably driven on one today, and you had no idea it has a name or that it's one of the most dangerous, expensive, and destructive things we ever built. Today, we're breaking down what a stroad is, why it exists, and why it's literally killing American cities. Let's dive in. So what is a stroad? The word was coined by urban planner Charles Marone from Strongtowns. It's a combination of street and road. And that's the problem. It tries to be both and fails at everything. Let me explain the difference. A street is designed for people. It's in a town or city. It has buildings close to the sidewalk, shops, homes, cafes, multiple destinations. People cross it frequently. Speed limit, 20 to 30 miles per hour. It's a place. A road is designed for moving cars fast between places. It connects towns or cities. No buildings nearby, or if there are, they're set way back. No pedestrians, limited access, speed limit 50 to 70 miles per hour. It's for throughput. Streets are destinations, roads are connections. Both serve a purpose when done correctly. But a stroad tries to be both, and that's where everything goes wrong. Here's what a stroad looks like. 4 to 6 lanes wide, speed limit posted at 35 to 45 miles per hour, but everyone drives 50. Lined with strip malls, fast food restaurants, gas stations, and big box stores. Huge parking lots everywhere. Occasional traffic lights every quarter mile. Sidewalks, but they're right next to fast-moving traffic with no buffer. Crosswalks that feel like a suicide mission. Sound familiar? That's because they're everywhere in America. Every major suburban area has miles of these. Think of any commercial corridor in Phoenix, Houston, Orlando, or pretty much any American city built after 1950. That's a stroad. So why are stroads so bad? Because they fail at being both a street and a road. Let's break it down. As a street, they're terrible. Streets should be safe, walkable, and create value. Stroads do none of this. They're incredibly dangerous to walk along. The sidewalk is right next to cars going 50 miles per hour. There's no buffer, no trees, no protection, just concrete, exhaust, and noise. Crossing a stroad is terrifying. You're exposed for 40 to 60 feet while cars barrel toward you. Drivers aren't expecting pedestrians because stroads aren't designed for walking, so they don't slow down, they don't look, and accidents happen constantly. Stroads also destroy property values. No one wants to live next to 6 lanes of traffic. The noise is constant, the air quality is terrible. So what gets built? Strip malls and parking lots. Low-value, car-dependent businesses. Nothing that generates significant tax revenue. But stroads also fail as roads. Roads should move traffic efficiently between destinations. Stroads don't. Every quarter mile there's a traffic light for a parking lot entrance. Every driveway is a potential conflict point. Cars turning left across 3 lanes of traffic. Cars merging from gas stations. Pedestrians occasionally attempting to cross. It's chaos. The result? Congestion. You're going 50 miles per hour, then slamming on your brakes for a red light, then accelerating again, then braking for someone turning into Walmart. It's stop-and-go hell. And because stroads encourage speed but have constant interruptions, they're incredibly dangerous for drivers too. Rear-end collisions, T-bone crashes, and drivers running red lights because they're going too fast to stop safely. Stroads are the worst of both worlds. Too fast to be safe streets, too interrupted to be efficient roads.
Now let's talk about the human cost. Stroads are killing people. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, over 7,000 pedestrians die on American roads every year, and that number is rising. Many of these deaths happen on stroads. Why? Because stroads are designed for speed, but they're used as streets. People need to get to the Walmart, the Target, the Taco Bell, so they walk, or they try to. But drivers on a stroad are going 50 miles per hour. At that speed, if you hit a pedestrian, they have a 10% chance of survival. 10%. Compare that to a street with a speed limit of 20 miles per hour. A pedestrian hit at that speed has a 95% chance of survival. Speed kills, and stroads are designed for speed in places where people need to be. Here's a real example. Imagine a worker at a fast food restaurant on a stroad. They don't own a car. They live half a mile away. To get to work, they have to walk along a stroad with no sidewalk buffer, cross 6 lanes of traffic at a light where drivers routinely run yellows and hope they don't get killed. This happens every day in America. We've designed infrastructure that makes it deadly to be poor, to not own a car, to simply exist as a pedestrian. So how did we end up with stroads everywhere? It started in the 1950s. America went all in on cars. We built the interstate highway system. Suburbs exploded, downtowns emptied, and we started designing every street like a mini highway. City planners and traffic engineers were obsessed with one thing: traffic flow, moving as many cars as fast as possible. Pedestrians? An afterthought. Businesses? They'll adapt. So we widened streets to 4, 5, 6 lanes. We raised speed limits. We prioritized throughput over safety, convenience over community. And developers loved it. Cheap land on the edge of town next to a high-speed corridor, perfect for a strip mall. Parking is free, land is abundant. Build it and cars will come. The result? Every American city got ringed with miles of stroads, commercial corridors that looked identical from coast to coast. 6 lanes, traffic lights, chain restaurants, big parking lots. Repeat forever. But here's the thing. Stroads aren't just dangerous, they're also financially ruinous. Remember, streets should generate tax revenue. Dense, walkable streets with mixed-use buildings pay for themselves many times over. But stroads, they're a money pit. Think about it. A stroad is 6 lanes wide. That's 60 to 70 feet of asphalt, plus turn lanes, plus sidewalks, plus drainage. That's expensive to build and even more expensive to maintain. And what's generating tax revenue? A Taco Bell surrounded by parking, maybe a strip mall with a dollar store. Low-value, low-tax businesses. Meanwhile, the infrastructure costs are enormous. The city has to maintain all that asphalt, all those traffic lights, all that drainage. And in 20 years, it needs to be repaid. Where does that money come from? Not from the Taco Bell. The math doesn't work. Stroads cost more to maintain than they generate in tax revenue. This is the suburban growth Ponzi scheme that Strong Towns talks about. Cities build stroads, see initial growth, think they're thriving. But decades later, the bill comes due. The infrastructure is crumbling, the tax base is too low to fix it, and the city is broke. Detroit, Stockton, countless smaller cities facing the same crisis. It's not just bad policy, it's financial suicide. So what's the alternative? Simple. Stop building stroads. Build actual streets or actual roads.
If you want a street, design it like a street. 2 lanes, 30-foot width max, buildings close to the sidewalk, trees between the sidewalk and traffic, wide crosswalks with pedestrian priority, 25 miles per hour speed limit, enforced with design, not just signs. Make it a place where people want to be, where businesses thrive because there's foot traffic, where property values are high because it's pleasant to live there. If you want a road, design it like a road. 4 lanes, sure, but limited access. No driveways every 50 feet, no traffic lights for parking lots, grade-separated crossings or no crossings at all. 55 miles per hour speed limit because it's actually designed for that speed. Make it efficient at moving cars between places, not through places. The problem is, we keep trying to make streets do the job of roads and roads do the job of streets, and we end up with stroads that fail at both. Some cities are starting to fix this. They're taking stroads and converting them back into streets, narrowing lanes, adding bike lanes, planting trees, lowering speed limits, installing better crosswalks, allowing mixed-use development instead of just strip malls. Others are building bypass roads to take through traffic off of commercial streets, letting those streets function as actual streets again. But it's slow, and it's controversial, because Americans are so used to stroads, they think they're normal. They think 6-lane suburban highways with Targets and Olive Gardens are just how cities work. They're not. They're a uniquely American disaster. Go to Europe, Japan, even parts of Canada, and you won't find stroads. You'll find streets that are streets. Narrow, walkable, lined with buildings, and roads that are roads. Fast, efficient, limited access highways that don't pretend to be Main Street. They figured out what America forgot. You can't have both. Here's the bottom line. Stroads are dangerous. They kill pedestrians and drivers. They're financially unsustainable. They destroy property values. They create ugly, soulless environments that no one wants to be in unless they're in a car. And yet we keep building them. Every new suburb, every commercial development, every widening project. We're doubling down on the worst infrastructure design in modern history. The good news, we can stop. We can convert stroads into streets. We can build bypasses for through traffic. We can redesign our cities to separate the functions of streets and roads. But it requires admitting we made a mistake, a big one. And that's hard for a country that built its identity around cars and highways. Still, the data is clear. The deaths are real. The bankruptcies are happening. At some point we have to ask, is this really the best we can do? I don't think it is. So next time you're driving down a 6-lane suburban nightmare, stuck at a red light next to a Wendy's while someone tries to cross 50 feet of asphalt, remember, this isn't normal. This isn't inevitable. This is a choice. And we can choose differently. What's the worst stroad in your city? Drop it in the comments. I want to see the absolute worst America has to offer.
And if you want to see how cities are fixing this problem or how other countries avoided it entirely, hit subscribe because we're breaking down the solutions next. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.